Gamaya Tamaso Tirga Mritam Gam Om Shantihi Om from dark, from death, peace.
This is a Marathi song, the life of Shabari. Who knows the song? In this song, this who died, come to my hermit. I am not Ahilya, the cursed woman. I am not Janaki, the royal princess. I am a poor tribal woman. Only devotion feet my practice. Rama, please come to me just once, even if only while passing by. I will see you, worship you, and bow down my head at your feet. That alone will be heaven for me. In that moment, my life will be fulfilled. Rama Raghu Nandana Mara Mataya Kadhire Taya Rama Dana Meena Ahilya Shabitanari Meena Janaki Rajakumari Meena Ahilya Shabitanari पदान से खंड चिंतन पदान से अखंड चिंतन ही साधना नंदना Rama Raghu Nandana Patita Pavana Rama Raghu Nandana Ashramataya Kathire Atare Shila
I'm reading How by Swami Chetananandaji. The chapter is various forms of Ramakrishna. Here we are reading Ramakrishna as Ramchandra. Swami Sharadananda described Bhairavi Brahmani's vision of after and the Brahmani collected rice flour food from the temple store. She then the Panchavati, preparing her offering to a stone that she carried about with her and which hung around her neck. When she had finished cooking, she placed the food before Raghubir, closed her eyes, and began to think of her chosen deity. Soon she entered deep meditation and had a wonderful vision. Plunged in samadhi, she lost outer consciousness, and tears of joy trickled down her cheeks. At that moment, was in mood and he went there to eat the food that had been offered by the and saw the master in ecstatic mood. This scene to be vision, she was light and her head turned to the normal plane. He felt he had done. He apologized, saying, "Who knows, mother, why I lose control and do something?" The Brahmani told him, "You did well, my son. It is not really you who has done this, but he who dwells within you. In my meditation, I clearly realized who did it and why. I have come to the understanding that I do not need to perform formal worship anymore. My worship has borne fruit at last." Then the Brahmani left over sees her beloved in Sri Ramakrishna. She was overwhelmed with another incident is Devi, the wife of Navagopal Ghosh, was a devout woman. She was a devotee of Rama. After her marriage, she went with her husband to see the master at Dakshineshwar. A temple cat had some kittens. Cat in the master's. One day the master his kittens to her. Pleased, you saved me from a By Mother's grace, may all good attend you, and may you have the vision of your chosen deity. One day, while repeating the mantra, she had a vision of Lord Rama. Immediately, she bowed down, and when she was taking the dust of his feet, she saw the form of Ramakrishna in the place of Ramachandra. The master smiled and said, "Now I am." Third story, nephew Ramlal told the following story. A young vision that Lord Rama had been on earth. In order to see him, the monk started eastward from Ayodhya. He reached Bengal. There was a great saint named Sri Ramakrishna. He finally found Dakshineshwar after a long search and asked someone, "Where is this Ramakrishna Paramahamsa?" The people of Kali temple told him that the master had just passed away a few days before. Hearing this news, the monk exclaimed, "I have come all the way from Ayodhya on foot. I went by ship to get him, left the body." The monk began to. The manager of Kali temple offered from the temple. He went, stayed there for 2 hours without eating. Sri Ramakrishna, "You have not eaten in several days. There is pudding for you. Please eat it." He fed the monk and disappeared. The next morning, Ramlal went to Panchavati and found the monk full of joy. He asked, "What happened?" Bowl in which the monk preserved this bowl for a long time.
Good morning to everyone. The Sannyasa Vedanta Society of Toronto, whoever are present and who are watching online. Today's Rama, a beautiful song on story goes with Sabari and Rama connection, and also how Sri Ramakrishna revealed Rama in him, as he himself said, who he was Rama, who was Krishna, has become Krishna in this body. So that's what he revealed, the form of Rama to his devotees. And today's talk is on Rama's way of devotion. So there are so many devotees of Rama. So many people love Rama as God incarnate, right from ancient time. So what is devotion? Devotion is love of God. In Sanskrit it is called bhakti, which is derived from the root word bhaj. Bhaj has three meanings. Bhaj means to love, to be one with the beloved. What is love? Love is to be one with the beloved. That is the real love. Distinction between the beloved and the lover that goes away and you become one with whom you love in every way. That is, to love is bhaj. Bhaj also means to serve. Whom you love, you serve and try to help and do all the things that is needed for that person to be happy in life. Bhaj also means to break. What to break? Relationship? No. It has to break the ego, one's own ego, and fully dedicate to the one you love. It breaks ego, it breaks doubt, it breaks maya. So bhaj is becoming one with the one whom you love. That's how all these three meanings of the root word bhaj means to love your beloved with all your being. Rama taught Sabari 9 steps for devotion to God, which we will discuss today. Before that, let us see what other great teachers have defined devotion or bhakti. So, what is bhakti? Bhakti is love of God, no doubt. But how is bhakti or love of God expressed? How to inculcate bhakti or love of God more intensely? What are the ways that we can really and truly love God intensely? Sri Ramakrishna also defined love of God, how to love of God. And his saying was, have the yearning for God, to see God, pray to Him, reveal yourself to me. If you don't reveal, life is useless. So have the complete yearning and force upon God so that He or she reveals to you. There had been ancient sage called Shandilya. Shandilya said, Atmarati avirodhena. So he said, bhakti is devotion to God as one's true self and renouncing everything prejudicial to the path of devotion. So God is our own self. Know that, and whatever comes between your worship of God as yourself, seeing God as your own true self, and everything else, renounce that, whatever is prejudicial to the bhakti. So, total dedication to love of God who resides in our heart as our self, as our Atma. So, and do everything to reach that self by renouncing everything that is obstacle in the path of your being united and understand your true self as God. That's Shandilya said. There is another saint who is Vyasa. Vyasa said, according to Puja Dishu Anuraga, Vyasa said, bhakti means it's not that difficult, you have to think about the self and devoted to that. Simple way bhakti defined, Puja Dishu Anuraga. Bhakti means attraction to worship, etc. of God. So you be connected with God by worshipping, imagining God somewhere outside. Yourself you project outside as the perfect being, divine being, and that you call God with form, and worship that God whatever way you want to express your love through worship by offering Him the things that God likes, God offering the thing that you like. That is also Atmaupamena Sarvatra, like that Atmavat Seva, whatever you like that you offer to your beloved. So like that you worship God with flowers, candle, incense, food offering, praying, all that you do, and that is bhakti. So here the self, that God residing in the self, is projected outside as the perfected divine being, and you worship that, be in connection with that, have a full love for that. There's another teacher of bhakti called Garga. He said, Katha Dishu iti Garga. According to Garga, bhakti is the attraction for stories of God's play as incarnation. So not only worship will suffice, says Garga. Garga said you should have attraction for the story of God, which he did play, divine play as the incarnation. When you like to hear about God, that is bhakti. So, listening to the stories of God in different forms. It doesn't have to be only the form that your chosen ideal. You know that the chosen ideal, your chosen ideal has appeared or will appear in many forms. And every form is the divine play. And you listen to the story of God. So, in any way, listen to the story of God. If you are a devotee of Shiva, you can listen to the story of Jesus. You can story of Vishnu. All that is, if when you have liking, attraction for the story of God as incarnation, that is bhakti. So you want to hear more. That's how you connect. After all, bhakti is connecting with the divine, being one with whom you love God, and being one with your understanding your true self through the process of coming closer to that. So Garga said that. This is Garga. Now another person who defined bhakti is called Shandilya. What he said? Atmarati abirodhena iti Shandilya. So that just now we understood read about the Shandilya. So what Narada said, Shandilya has said, being attracted or renounced in devotion to God as oneself, renouncing everything else. So Narada said, after Narada refers all about these great saints and teachers of bhakti, after that he said, what do I say about the bhakti? Sri Ramakrishna said, in Kali Yuga it is Narada's bhakti that is to be practiced, and that is the most effective. What Narada said? Naradastu tadarpita akhila acharata tad vishaparane param vyakulata. He said, according to Narada, devotion is surrender of all activities to God, and extreme anguish if he is forgotten. So, here not only you think of God when you listen to the stories, or when you worship, or when you are thinking of the self, but in all your activities, mental and physical, you are always connected with God. Bring God in all your mental and physical activities, says Narada. In Kali Yuga, that is the Naradiya Bhakti, thinking of God without forgetting Him in all the activities that we do. Our life centered in God, and God revealing in the everything that we do. So, tadarpita akhila acharata, all offering, all everything is offered to God. And when somehow you forget God, and that brings you parama vyakulata, extreme anguish, you are very sad. Why did I forget God? Why couldn't I remember God when this thing happened? So remembering God at all times, thinking of in all activities. And sometimes what happens, we sometimes forget, and we behave in such a way as if we are not dealing with the God. So in Narada's way, dealing with every human is dealing with God. God in different forms. Here God is not only incarnation of God, that great spiritual persons, Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Jesus, Ramakrishna. These are not only God coming in front of us, perfect being, but God in the form of imperfect beings, in the form of human beings of varied nature, in the form of all weak, not so pure, all that, whatever we see, human beings, animals, whole this universe, that created universe in many forms, all are God in different forms, acting and behaving and transacting with anything in the world. You are transacting with God. God is remembered. Everything is seen as God. That is Narada Bhakti. And when you forget this, you think you are dealing with someone, then you forget God, and that becomes painful to you, anguish to you, vyakulata. That vyakulata, Sri Ramakrishna also told, vyakulata, be mad for God. That's what he said. Cry for the vision of God. People cry for whatever they like, for money, for wealth, for children. They cry jug full of tears, they said, but they cannot shed even a drop of tear for God. So cry for God, Be impatient to have the vision of God, to have the closeness with God. Be impatient when you forget God in your dealing with the world. That is, according to Narada, is bhakti. And Sri Ramakrishna says, this bhakti is fit for Kali Yuga. You have to think of God always in your dealing. The whole world is deified. Whole world becomes symbol of God. Prahlada also taught about bhakti. It's called Navavidha Bhakti. It is the 9 types of bhakti, he said. And it's very famous. It is in the Bhagavata Purana. It says, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. In one verse of 2 lines, Prahlada described 9 types of bhakti, Navavidha Bhakti. What is this bhakti means? He says, there are 9 types, 9 categories. One is Sravanam. All together makes the full bhakti. Sravanam, listening. What? Listening. Sravanam means listening. Listening of scriptures. Again, the story of God's incarnation of God, holy persons, life of saints. That ennobles your mind. That makes your mind, purifies your mind, makes your mind attracted towards spiritual truth. That is what Sravanam. Once we start with that, that's how some say holy company. When people go with holy person, and what they do talk about? They listen. Generally they have some question, or they just listen when the holy person is speaking. And what it is speaking about? All about the Leela of God, or some spiritual truth, or some philosophical truth. And that you listen, that becomes 1 by 9 of the bhakti, Sravanam. And listening to the scriptural explanations, being told by some person who really knows it and who lives that life. When we listen from the person who lives the scriptural truths, that becomes very effective. When person has not lived the life and just is a scholar and explains, that is interesting to see, but doesn't sink deep into our heart. So listening from some holy person, that's why it's holy company. Sri Ramakrishna often emphasizes holy company is the first thing that will kindle love for God or spirituality in your heart. Listening to the scriptures, Sravanam. Second is Kirtanam. Kirtanam is singing and praying. You start singing the glory of God, devotional songs, chanting the mantras. Be in that idea, says Prahlada, Kirtanam. So, and also pray. Somehow connect to God through your prayers. Praise God. Look at the form that you like most and see beautiful form of God. That one Krishna is described, Adharam, Madhuram, Vadanam, Madhuram. Everything about God is so sweet, so beautiful. Every part is described there. Lips are beautiful, eyes are beautiful, eyebrows are beautiful. Every activity of God is beautiful. Hasanam, Madhuram, Sahitam, Madhuram. He is sleeping so beautifully, he is laughing so beautifully. Every activity of God is so beautiful. It's just the praise of God and thought of God. That is also Kirtanam. So we have the singing and praying to God. Then it's called Smaranam, remembering God and the scriptural teachings. What you have heard, that you try to recapitulate. Remember, just once listen and forget and put your mind in the world, that holy company will not be really so much effective. So holy company to be effective should put some impression in your mind that you go home, then also you remember about the life of the great saintly life that you have heard. So that's called Smaranam. Also, remember the scriptural teaching that you have heard and remember God. Another is called Pada Sevanam, service to the feet. That's what Prahlada said. Now, service to the feet, God doesn't reveal. If God comes in front of you, then you touch feet, then you offer flowers at feet. God doesn't come in front. You can worship God's image. Not even photograph you put sometimes, but it doesn't stick even the photograph. That it just goes down. But in the image you can put. If it is statue of God, then you can put. But Pada Sevanam, serving the feet of God, means serving the feet that of the saintly person or a guru or something. Feet also means, pada also means the position, remembering his position. As you heard that how Sabari's story, that how Sabari worshipped Rama at her feet. So somehow meditating on the feet of the Lord, that is one thing it is said. What is feet represents? When we meditate, we can meditate on the face. That is so still better. Adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram. But meditating on the feet of God. Feet, remembering the feet, thinking of feet makes your ego very down. It crushes your ego. You think of the holy, that's why we call lotus feet. So much adorable. Thinking of feet is crushing our ego and practice of humility. And you feel yourself when you see feet, when you are close to feet. When you are close to feet, when you are close to the ground, where he is standing, one with the ground. So total surrender and humility. That's what explains the meditation on the feet of God. So, Pada Sevanam. Archanam, worship of the divine. So divine you can worship by many ways. You can do the external worship with all the things that people worship. People worship with the prayer that they offer to the God, even without form. They worship prayers that you see in all religions. Prayers are there, and there is prayer in front of some symbol of God, like you go to church in front of cross or Jesus image. In some churches there are there, or in Hindu temples you see the God, and you do arati, you sit there, you meditate, you do japam, you sing songs. That all comes under archanam. Or you worship through flowers, sandal paste, as Sri Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, that I don't need many things to be worshipped. You can worship me with patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Very simple. A leaf, you offer me leaf, any leaf. You don't have to tulsi leaf or any leaf. Any leaf I will accept. Patram, pushpam, flower, any wild flower, but phalam, fruit, and toyam, water. That you offer, yome bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhaktyu paritam asnami. I accept, I eat, he says. Whatever you offer with love, with devotion, that I offer, whatever it is. So he recounts very simple thing. Leaf, flower, fruit, water, whatever is available, offer that. That is called external. Then there is worship with the chandan, dhupam, candle, incense. So many things can be offered. There is a Sorasopachara puja where you offer fruits and food and clothes and ornaments. So many things you can offer. All come under worship. But the real worship is the mental worship or manasa puja. You can think of Lord within your heart and offer all those things mentally. Swami Akhandananda says, when you offer, imagine Lord seated in your heart, and then you offer flower. Don't offer one wild flower. Offer big, big lotus flowers. Handful of flowers you offer. You are just imagining. You don't have to procure. Don't be miserly even in imagination. So offer, you'll feel nice tulsi leaf, nice bilva leaves, flowers, give varieties of fruit, and see that Lord is eating, be connected to the Lord. That is what the worship is. Worship archanam, that can be so much. And Prahlada says, then vandanam, that is another type of bhakti, vandanam, bowing down to the divine. That is the very important thing. In the churches, they kneel down. That is also a sort of vandanam. And in Hinduism, they do the namaskaram, or touch the feet, or they touch the ground, or they prostrate. It's called Shastanga Pranama. With the Sastanga means Sa-Astanga, with 6 parts of the body touching the ground. Total surrender to the divine. Nothing I can do. When you surrender, when you prostrate that, then you have no power to do anything. Totally relying on God. Bandhanam represents that. You totally rely on God. Total surrender to the God. Total surrender means don't worry for yourself. You now have faith in the divine that He will do everything that you need to do. You don't have to worry anything for yourself. All worries, anxieties for you have gone. He will take care. You have so much of faith. This Vandanam can take you to that state of total surrender. And he says, after that, he says, Dasyam, serve divine, serving divine as a servant serves the master. That is another step of, another form of love. So, like Hanuman served Rama, that's why you serve God. How do you serve God? You cannot serve God as such. God is there lying in the image and all that. That if you serve with things, it becomes worship. What is serving to God then? Dasyam in our context. It will be serving all as the divine manifestation. You serve your fellow human beings. You serve fellow living beings who are with you in the world. In animals, plants, your fellow human beings. Try to serve. What does the serve means? Trying to be of help to them, trying to have any help what they need through your words, through your action, through your prayer, through your other means. Whenever you come to a person with help, it becomes the dasyam for it is as good as serving God. But when you serve the people, as Sri Ramakrishna said, Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. You should keep in your mind that I am serving the person not out of glory of myself, that I can help you. If I do not help you, you will be in trouble. Not with that thought, but seeing God residing in him, seeing him as Shiva, her as Shiva. All Shiva resides in the hearts of everyone. God resides in the hearts of everyone. Serve beings in that way. So it becomes dasyam. It is your opportunity, privilege to help others. Thank others, as Swami Vivekananda says, when you donate some money to the beggar, to the needy, to the homeless, don't be proud that, oh, take this money, 50 cents I send you. Not that. But be thankful and be courteous and be thankful to the person that he is there to accept your offering. It's not just throwing money on them to the beggar. It is offering to God who has come in front of you in the form of a beggar. With that attitude, if you do, then it becomes dasyam, a step, a method of love or divine love. Then he said sakhyam, as friendship with the divine. So be friendly with all and love your God. As servant you can love, and also as friend. God is your friend. When you think God is your friend, then what happens? He is always with you. God is never separate from you, and he will look after you. Now, as dasyam, you are serving God. Now, as sakhyam, as a friend, at the 8th step in the Prahlada's Navavida Bhakti, as sakhyam, he is always with you. He is true friend of yours. No one is as true friend as God. He is the one who will be always with you in this life. Even if you die, with that next life also God will be with you. That is called faith in that God is our friend, and he is eternal and true friend of ours. That is the Sakhyam Bhakti of according to Prahlada. The last he says, Atma Nivedanam, complete self-surrender to God. You are there, what do I worry? So, complete self-surrender. Giving up ego and desire, trusting in the divine plan. So, one is divine is there, he is looking after me. Whatever we have become or whatever we have got, actually very little we have done. All is done by God himself. That we have to remember. All is the grace and gift of God that we are in this position or in this age, or we have attained this much of life. There have been all grace of God. Thinking that way, you become totally free from all worries for yourself. And that God, trusting him, is Atma Nivedanam, and the divine plan is there. And be not egoistic and do not desire so many things. Now, what does Rama say about the bhakti? Now, Rama said to Sabari. Sabari was a tribal woman, unlettered, born in a very village family in Nishada, in the caste system of Hinduism that was prevalent. She was born in a very lowly caste, no education, no any sophistication of culture. In such a family was born this woman who was so devoted to God, very exception case. And he went to a guru called Matanga, and Matanga saw her purity of her heart, and she taught her, and Matanga passed away. Then she said to Matanga, when you are giving up your body, take me also with you, I will also die. He said, no, God will come to you in the form of Rama. Then when he will come, I don't know, but he will come, just wait. So that Matanga Rishi said to his disciple, Sabari, and Sabari started waiting. She was a young widow. And not widow, she had run from from the wedding seat. She didn't get married. Ran, she didn't like to get married. So from that time, young girl, she gradually are waiting. Every day in Matanga Rishi, she was waiting there. And Rama was not coming, but every day Guru has said God will come in the form of Rama. She was expecting Rama all the time. That's why her name becomes Sabari. In Hindi, Urdu, the Sabar is the one word, which means patience, wait. One who is a patient. The one who is embodiment of patience is Sabari. Jo sabar karta hai, wo Sabari hai. So that Sabari was waiting for Rama. Anything, something happened, she was so thoughtful of Rama. She had never seen Rama, only had heard. Any leaf moved and she said, oh, Rama might have come. She used to go outside. Not only that, Rama will come, he said. Every day she used to, if Rama comes, what will I offer? Nothing is here in the forest. So she would pluck some fruits, wild fruits, and make ready that Rama comes, then I will offer. Every day, then she would taste, and sweet one she will keep. And Rama didn't come. Like that, days passed from young woman to adult woman to old woman. Now she has become old. Now, one day, she found some rustle. Again, like every day, she was waiting and thinking of Rama. Whole life, she was thinking of Rama and Rama's coming. That was his waiting for Rama. Sabari is that. Rama really came. She was overwhelmed. Rama and Lakshmana came, and that fruits were ready, these wild berries. And berries, Lakshmana saw berries were all little eaten, all berries were eaten by someone. Then he asked Sabari, what is this all? It's not the whole fruit. So I tasted, Lord, it's all sweet. Only sweet one I have kept for you. Whatever were bitter or unripe or sour, I threw that away. Only best one I had kept. She even didn't know that you have to cut. Didn't have anything. She was so simple. She just tasted, it is sweet or not, and kept that for her Lord, God himself. There is no idea of sacrilege, idea of anything being being eto, or what you call being touched by mouth. You shouldn't offer nothing. That was the holiest thing. So Lakshmana said, what are you offering to Rama? Rama is our God. So don't eat, brother, this, he said. Brother said, you don't know the heart of the person. Why do you only see external? Rama ate all that. And today's song, you see, sometimes they sing, Kaun kehta hai ki Bhagavan khate nahi. You say, you offer to God and God doesn't eat. But you don't know how to feed like Sabari. You don't have that love like Sabari. Tum Sabari ke jaise khilate nahi. You don't feed her like Sabari fed him. Lord, with your oneness with yourself, with total absolute love you feed, and God eats. So that's what he said, and he ate that fruit, and then he taught him about the bhakti. The Sabari will need the teaching of bhakti. She is the embodiment of all bhakti. But still, he wanted to teach to the mankind about the bhakti. And this beautifully described by Tulsi Das in his Hindi Ramayana in Aranyakanda. So he said 9 steps of bhakti. It's not 9 types of bhakti. He said 9 steps of bhakti, how bhakti matures after one another, beautifully. So Navadha Bhakti it is called, and in Tulsi Das Ramayana you get. He said first step of bhakti is Prathama Bhagati Santana Karasanga, company of the holy. That is the first step. Holy person, holy book, holy songs, that you be associated with it. That will kindle love of God. First is that. Then what is next? Dusari Rati Mama Katha Prasanga. Second step is Mama Katha Prasanga Rati. Rati means liking, attraction for my story, God's story. So Rama defined, as Krishna, when he taught Gita, he was not Krishna anymore. He was God himself. He was identified with the divine. So he was not a human, identified with a human being, Krishna, but he was identified with the divine. Here also when Rama says, Dusari Rati Mama Katha, when say Mama, my love for my stories. He means my means God, God in all forms, listening to discourses about Lord, about God in any form. That is the second step of bhakti. How beautifully, step by step, Rama says about the bhakti. Now, Tisari, Guru Pada Pankaja Bhagati Amana. So he said, the third is serving or seva, as it says, serving selfless service to the Guru's lotus feet. And amana, without any pride. Give up the pride, your pride, ego, make it less, and serve your Guru. Guru, holy persons, saints, all come together. It doesn't have to have Guru that from we have taken mantra and all that. All holy persons, all saintly persons can be at the position of the Guru-like persons. We call generally Gurujan, seniors, respectable persons are all called Gurujan. So, Guru Pankaja, Pada Pankaja, Seva. Again, this feet, serving the feet, and two things. It is one, the service, thinking of yourself, making your ego less, and amana, no pride. So this is very important, conquering the pride. He also said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, amanina manada. He also defined, there are Shikshastakam, 8 verses on education, spiritual education. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written that one. Only that is his composition. All whatever he had written, such a erudite person, he all threw in the Ganga. But only those remain, it's called Shikshastakam, 8 verses on education, spiritual education. So in that one he says, amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. How devotion will develop? He says, amanina. Don't have any pride, only hankering for your own honor. Don't seek honor in any way. Don't seek respect from anyone. But give respect to all, manadena. Respect, honor to everyone. Everyone is respectable. We can respect everyone, even a child, even a person who is not very learned, not very shastranga. There are some points in everyone that can be respected and honored. After all, God resides in the heart of everyone, and He expresses Himself through that being, that person, that living being. Everything is respectable. When we love a dog that is going and do not hate, that is also respect to God, because thinking of God residing in a dog or a cat, or even a small earthworm, a small snail that walks in the, slowly they will find the snails and the earthworms moving. But God resides in the heart of all. That respect for the living creature, that is what is amanina manadena. Give honor to them as a living being, living creature. So here also Sri Krishna, Rama says, Tisari Bhagati Amana. And he said, Amanina manadena. How can we have such qualities? We don't seek honor for ourselves. We give honor to everyone. Whatever they treat, you don't mind at all, how rudely they treat it at all. If we can have that type of thing, there will be no road rage or nothing. You forgive everyone. How the world will be so beautiful. And then how that will happen? Sri Chaitanya says, it will happen by, then he says the words, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Always remember God and God's play. Everything is God's play. Remember everyone's behavior as different. God has made the varieties that God has made. Then it is all God playing that way. Somebody dives that way, that's also God's plan. What a fun. Some Swami Vivekananda saw a monk in Himalayas. He was like, people thought he's a mad person, and the kids were throwing stone on that monk. And that monk was laughing. He was bleeding. And kids thought that he is mad, and as it happens in the villages. And he was bleeding the body, and he was laughing. And Swami Vivekananda saw that. He drove away the kids, and he went to him and burned some cloth, and its ash he put on the wounds to cure him, to treat as antiseptic. And that person, he was so surprised to see that person. He was saying, what a wonderful Leela of God. Leela of God. So that's how everything becomes like the play of God. That's what manadena, amanina. I don't seek anything. It can come when you have kirtaniya sadahari. So what is the fourth point he said? Chauthi bhagati mama guna gana karai kapata taji gana. Mama guna gana karai kapata taji gana. Earnestly sing praises of the Lord's virtues with heart free from deceit or hypocrisy. Tajai kapata taji, no hypocrisy, no one thing in heart, one thing in mind, not that way. Give up that, and then sing praises of the Lord's virtues. That, as I was saying, the beauty of Lord, His play as a wonderful thing, put your mind on all the goodness that charms of your chosen ideal or of God in any incarnation. What is the fifth? Mantra japa mama dridha vishwasa panchama bhajana so veda prakasa. Repeating the name of the Lord with steadfast faith. So that's how the Veda Prakasa, Vedas say, that way he says, Rama says. So, mantra japa mama dridha vishwasa. Have steadfast faith in me that I will deliver everything that you are praying for. As it is said, that Sri Krishna promised in the Gita, yoga kshemam vahamyaham. If you have faith in me, Arjuna, I will give you whatever you need, and I will protect whatever you have. So, yoga and shema, I will give you that. So, don't worry for that. And that's what Sri Krishna did all his life for Arjuna. He did everything to protect Arjuna from all the dangers and protected him in the Mahabharata war, or whole time when they were in 14 years in the forest. Yoga kshemam vahamyam, that faith, steadfast faith in God. So that is what, that's what Veda says, he says, Rama says. So, but without any steadfast faith, that mantra japam mama dridha vishwasa. Do japam and have steadfast faith in me. Rama, the nine steps of Rama, there are more than one quality in each verse. Okay, you can give up the conceit and love me, like that thing. What is the sixth one? Damasilas virati bahukarana nirata nirantara sajjana dharana. What it means? Practice self-control, good character, detachment from manifold activities, and always follow the duties as a good spiritual person. So many qualities he has said in one point. Dhamma sila virati bahukarama. Practice self-control, one thing. Practice and have good character. Practice detachment from manifold activities as different or disconnected with your own divine spiritual practice. So every activity should be spiritual practice. And always follow the duties as a good spiritual person, sajjana dharma, good person, good human being, enlightened citizen as they call. Practice in that, they follow in that. What is the seventh one he says? Satama sama mohimaya jagadekha mote santa adhika karilekha. It's very unique of Ramachandra saying this, seventh point. He said, perceive the world as God himself, one. So as I was explaining, serve the whomever you get, seeing them as the manifestation of God. It is one thing. And the last one, in the second one, in this seventh point, he said, regard the saints higher than the Lord. Moti santa adhika kari lekha. Treat them higher than me, to the saints. Remember what Sri Ramakrishna said? What is God is great, no doubt, but devotees of God are still greater. Why? God is great, but the devotees of God reside in the heart of the devotees. So devotees are greater than God himself in that way. So here also it says, regard the saints or my devotees higher than the Lord. So much respect you have to give to the holy person, to the saints, to the person Brahma-Gyanis. That's what our scriptures always say. Brahma-Gyanis are Brahma themselves. Brahma-Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. The God, the person who has realized God has become God. So don't find any fault with such persons. They say Brahma-Gyanis don't have any karma left. So if he does something, and his karma, if you see something he is doing wrong, that karma doesn't happen to him even if he does something in your eyes that is wrong. That what seeing wrong in the Brahmagyani, that karma will come to you. You will be having the karma of doing wrong because you saw wrong in a Brahmagyani. So Brahmagyanis are greater and higher than Lord himself. Wonderful. आठवें जता लाभ संतोषा सपनेहु नहीं देखई परदोषा. It's so common, you see. Jatha lava santosa, yadricha lava santosta. Be contented with whatever one has, and do not find fault with others, even in dream. Seeing fault and defect in others is great unspiritual quality. It harms a devotion when you start judging others. So Don't judge others. Sri Ramakrishna said this, when you pray to God for bhakti, pray also that may I not find fault with others. Holy Mother's last message was that, don't find fault with others, rather find your own faults. And Jesus said, you see, you can't see mote in your eyes and you see beam in others' eyes. There is a beam in your eye and you see beam in others' eyes. You all have all the faults that you are seeing in others. So don't find fault with others. So that what he says, 8th point is that one. Be contented, jatdricha lava santusta, jatha lava santosha, sapanehu nahi dekhai paradosa. Even in dream, don't find fault with others. But in dream, we don't have control. And how to do that? When in waking state you don't see fault with others, it is the extension of our waking. When the mind thinks about the waking state, it becomes dream, many things. And what is the 9th and the last of the Rama's way of divine love? Navama sarala savasana chalahina mama bharosa hira harasa nadina. Be simple without any hypocrisy or deceit towards anyone. Simple life, simple living. That is his 9th teaching. Be simple in your attitude, behavior, treatment with others. So no hypocrisy, no deceit. And mama bharosa, relying fully on the Lord, be free from exaltation or depression. Be established in equanimity, have full reliance on me. If you practice this 9th, is ultimate surrender, saranagati. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam braja. Rama will say in the Krishna Avatara, that being who was Rama will say in Krishna Avatara, give up all your dharma, all your what is good and what is bad, and you surrender yourself to me. We fully rely on me. That is the ultimate of bhakti. When we fully rely on the Lord, that is the not only bhakti, it becomes mukti. You have no worries for yourself. Now Lord will take all your care. How will you live? Whether you will be sick, whether you will be in hospital, whether you will die today, whether you will die after 10 years, 15 years, 50 years. That all is in the hands of God. Why do we worry? Sadhus say, don't think much about when you will die. Don't be afraid of death. Don't be concerned about death so much. It will come one day. And don't hate death. That is not something that you should be hatred. It is not full of hatred. It is something culmination of your life. It is a moment when you become free from all the bondage of this samsara and you go to some other, freed from this cage of this body. So don't hate your death. Only problem is suffering before death in old age. But that also with your practice of putting mind at the lotus feet of God, that also will become less if there is suffering in our old age. So put your mind in God and have complete surrender to God. Love Him with all your mind and all your heart and all your soul, and behave well and in friendly manner with the world. No one is alien, Holy Mother said. No one is alien, no one is other than yours. The whole world is your own. Treat the world as your own. If you want peace of mind, if you want maturity of bhakti, you have to treat everyone dearly as your own person, as the manifestation of God, and put your mind in God, and do all activities of your mental and physical, all activities as service to God in human being. Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva, and Bhakti matures. Thank you.
On behalf of the Vedanta Society of Toronto, I would like to thank all of you for attending the Sunday service. Now for some announcements of our upcoming events. Our next scripture class will be on Friday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. The subject of discussion will be Uddhava Gita. Our next Sunday service will be on April 20th at 11 a.m. The title of the talk will be Speaking with God. Both the Friday scripture class and Sunday service will be online only. Buddha Jayanti will be celebrated on May 11th at 11 a.m. The Vedanta Society will be conducting its one-day spiritual retreat in Toronto on July 6th at 9:30 a.m. from 9:30 to 3 p.m. This will be conducted by Swami Kripamayananda, the head of the Vedanta Society of New York. The subject of the retreat, registration fee, and other details will be announced soon, and stay tuned for announcements on the website. If you wish to attend, please send us an email because seats are limited and registration will be on first-come, first-served basis. At the end of the service, if you wish to continue your spiritual discussion, please do so upstairs in the dining hall area, leaving the prayer hall free for those who wish to contemplate and meditate on the message that we just heard. After the closing chant, please join us upstairs for prasad. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Buddha Ki Jai. Jai Isha Musha Ki Jai. Sarvastaratu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarvasad Buddhimapnotu Sarvas Sarvatra Nandatu. Hari Om Tat Sat. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all.